Addiction thinks in circles, whereas invention thinks in spirals.
Yes. Yes,
And
yes,
I
yes.
love it. And spiral is not one dot, it's actually one seed becoming bigger and bigger and bigger
Mhm.
and bigger and bigger and bigger.
So I'm grateful for that. And then two, just the pain just reminding me like this body is so amazing.
Where else can you go
Hmm.
other than inside? And
Hmm.
when you're so almost like forced to face yourself, you find lots of love. I'm gonna put you on spot right now.
Wow. What a way to open.
Um, do you have few words for the end of the season one?
Yeah, I'll just say I love Aurora. Um, she's my homegirl. Um, hmm. There's really nothing I could say that would do anything for justice, for the evolution, the transformation, what we've experienced, what we've gone through, um, even what I've learned, what I take away from it. And it's such a fitting end to have like this idea of confusion and creativity and the tantra of the mind and all. Yeah, I'm just like, so I'm just grateful, really grateful, just really grateful all around. Hmm.
For the entire season. This is our last episode. And in the beginning, we said this many times, but we said we want nothing of it. Yet we got so much of it. And you only know in the end. And the end, you never know actually in the beginning where the end is going to take you. And it's never been the beginning, it's never been the end. But yet we gain so much and it feels it feels like the peak. It feels like we finished the hike. It feels like, it feels a completed study. And I'll just take a few words that say that it's worth ruminating over, worth having taken time, a longer time rather than in 1 week reading the entire book. We took what, almost 2.5 years really reading about it and thinking and feeling everything. Though I don't remember every single item, but I do remember us going through it together. So the book is a good companion to follow you with as you're going through your life cycles. And it took us 2.5 years, and we went through almost a couple of breakups, almost
Yeah.
divorce, another child, loss of job, moving into another. It's like there was so much of life that happened in between. And the
Hmm.
book was always there, a good anchor to anchor into and really contemplate. So I just want to say I'm very thankful. And I
Yeah.
loved it, every single step of it. And we also
Hmm.
had our peaks and lows as well. So shy until no shy. So intimidated until totally open and cracked open and vulnerable. So
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. What a journey.
Mm.
Yeah, it's interesting using the metaphor of climbing a mountain because when it's a really big mountain and you have the space for reflection while you're at the top looking at the view
Mhm.
and you're like, "Oh yeah, I almost died down there." But I feel so alive right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully we can parachute down. We don't have to climb back down.
Yeah, just jump
Just
and
jump.
fly. Um, Pretty cool. So, 64th, I was smiling the entire time as I was reading this. Pretty
Hmm.
good.
Hmm.
Anyone
Yeah,
has it in
same.
your family?
Oh, I didn't check. I don't think so though. Yeah, off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure no one does.
Yeah, for all people that I read charts for, it's quite like at least minute 20, 25 of them that I have saved some charts on. I don't see it.
You don't have it. Hmm.
Uh-uh. And it's interesting, it might be really rare. I wonder if Osho has it.
I feel like Osho has it for sure.
That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Alan Watts might have it. Yeah.
Ah,
Some of the
yeah.
Zen guys.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So thoughts, thoughts. Mm.
The one of the I guess one of the key things that stood out to me was if we're starting with shadow, and it's something I've been reflecting on and contemplating is this tendency to identify. And he says, each of all of the 64 shadows are born out of the mind's tendency to identify with whatever it sees. And then there's a feedback loop between the polarities within each shadow. Um, I guess between the pairs is how he's saying it. So like here, the 64th and 63rd. So the confusion and doubt, and they play off each other, and then you do this like looping um, cycle that all leads back to identification. And I find when I'm, for just a reflection, like we went to a gathering 2 nights ago, and I'm like, Carly, I think I'm spoiled by you, Carly, and I'm like, I'm spoiled by Melissa, and because what I seek is such depth, and I want to just like have access to like someone's heart and mind and soul and everything. And it's hard for people to open up to that level, and I totally get it. It's kind of ridiculous for me to expect it.
Mhm.
But in the same sense, I have this like dissatisfaction around like trudging through the layers to see if there's an opening wide enough where I can fit myself and I can show a little bit of myself too. And then there's this receptivity, and then it's like this process, and I imagine thinking back to dating compared to being married now, it's like there's this process of seeing if the piece even fits first instead of just knowing the piece fits and kind of like building the puzzle out from there. And yeah, I have this initial identification with it and being like, oh, like I feel lonely or whatever. I just wish, people were more like you, or however I frame it. And then um, what I'll do is because I'll see Carly like locked in on conversation with someone while I'm like running around with the kids or doing whatever. And I'm like, hey, what'd you guys talk about? And then she tells me, and she's like, every time that I'm talking with someone and I let you know what it is, I figure that you'll think it's boring. It's like, oh, you know, you struggle with getting the house clean, and then someone's just offering solutions, and they're talking back and forth for like 45 minutes about how to clean a house or whether you should have a nanny or a maid or something. And I'm like, you're right. It's not interesting at all.
So,
And it kind of like snaps me out of this. I become identified and like seeing something that I want to be a part of, but I'm like impressing my own desires upon the external and like imagining it as, it's kind of what we do. It's like we imagine the the thing that we're missing or the thing that we want the most. And in reality, it's like what's experienced there is probably it's not any less lonely or lonesome or however you want to frame it. Alone in the sense that in a lot of ways it's we are unable to bridge the gap of soul level connection. And it also speaks to, maybe these connections are more rare and we should cherish them. And we do. I think you and I do. And but it's like that what's it called? Like twin flame or whatever you want to say. It's like uh yeah, I just want that. I want to have that with everyone. Or I want to have you like closer, or I want to have, just like it's like when you're in the experience, you want to extend it out as far as you can. When you're not in the experience, you want to have the experience. And wanting what we can't have, we're always not able to be present. And so it's identification externally that is just like this loop in the shadow where I'm not being present with what is and being, like either reflective or future oriented instead of here and now. And just recognizing for myself that this is this shadow, this confusion, um, and seeing it interplay with doubt. I'm like, oh, this totally makes sense. And ultimately, like the only thing I feel is that if the mind is talking, it doesn't really matter what the story is or what's being said. It's just like um, instead of hearing the words, hearing the energy, the frequency, the emotion, the feeling, like taking it as a Russian doll and not just the words. And I think that's yeah, I'm learning. It's a process.
Yeah, and it's invitation. It sounds like you have this longing to connect deeply, and it's doing
Yes.
its thing for you, and you really don't, you, any human. I can't just stare at you. I have to talk. It's our
Hmm.
connecting tissue. It's like we click on it. It's our
Hmm.
entrance point. It's our a door that we enter. It's the knob that we have to open, and that's where it's the only tool that we have with majority of people, and to enter a little bit deeper, to enter. But interestingly, I'll tell you because I felt the same. And I
Hmm.
wanted, and I used to say just last year, I used to say, I'm trying to find the crack because I can adapt to all the subjects that you can, almost all.
Hmm.
I can talk about anything. I can talk about Scrabbles and toilets, no problem. And I can find the metaphoric meaning in it too. But
Hmm.
what happens, because this shadow leads to the gift of imagination, what happens is that the external will almost block, 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 and this energy will want to come out and it will not have anywhere else to go than inner. So I became actually really fascinated inside by your mind. And you would never know. It's like I can literally talk to you without saying a word, and I'm not completing anything or I'm not concluding anything about you, but I wonder. I always wonder, and this wondrous thing literally initiates me into metaphoric, descriptive thought process inside. So I give my mind the food, and then I laugh at myself, and then I say stupid things, and often they compare me. And I understand that the subjects that I'm talking about are very deep. It's like they're you know, in the what was it? Was it Osho? It's like you get offended by the mind when someone attacks your
Hmm.
mind, not your body and intelligence or heart. It's like
Hmm.
it's a very personalized thing. And the less you feel personalized through your mind or identify with your thoughts, the more fluffy you're gonna become and lighter. And everything is gonna be joke. Of course, you're gonna have people that will be, why are you
Hmm.
laughing at me? It's like I stand for this. And I think it's just a process. But I find it interesting because internal conversations will give me a clue to enter. And often when I start elaborating in a different way, I have them yawning. They can't even,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes.
right?
I'm like, oh,
The
and
yawning,
you
it's
know,
a thing.
and because we're so, I think it's Piscean or whatever, it's like we're so clued in on
So
the
there.
subtle language of the body and the
Totally.
eye connection. So like this happened to me. I'm like, oh, I got a crack. I'm gonna go in, and then I see someone kind of like as I'm talking, and I'm like, oh, I lost them already. Like I
Yes.
don't know. And then I'm reflecting to Carly. I'm like, is it the way I'm speaking? Like I'm just not entertaining, or was the topic wrong or I just went too deep? And then I'm like, you know what? That's the confusion. It's like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna know, you know?
Exactly. And on almost like when you enter inside, you're not gonna even get mad about it because it is actual fact. When I never yawn when I talk with someone, and we can talk about toilets, and I will not yawn. I will find it fascinating.
Yeah.
But I get people yawn left and right because the attention span is smaller. It's like they literally have their own world they're in, and you can't get mad because you lose them. You lose them quickly on the expansive subjects in which they need to make an effort in the mind, use the energy to make new. That's very hard.
Hmm.
And it's challenging. Like even for me, it's like I want to sit here and think something new. Okay, I want to imagine. I want to become a new, explore the path which in which I it takes a lot of energy, but you have to
Hmm.
have that attitude. And I think really there is a will behind it. There's this longing that you have. So as long as there's something inside of you poking through you, oh, you'll get far, no matter what and who yawns.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like a, you know, this is a reminder too that we can always, whether it's delusion or not, we can always frame things with different points of view or perspectives. And so if someone if someone yawned when I'm talking with them, I might just reframe it just to have a laugh with myself to say, you know, like, oh, like when you're having to come up with psychedelics, sometimes it's like burping. Some people throw up. Some people have to use the bathroom. And but like the most common thing is like yawning and then tears. Like you're yawning so much that the tears are coming. You're like, and the yawning is kind of a, it's like the energy stuck and you're kind of like opening up. You're opening up. And so like you're almost in a way, it's like you're poking just enough to have someone have like a visceral response their body can't contain anymore. You know, that's the way I reframe it. But
I even think because I was told that it's regulating. True, it can be.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
most of the time, it's just so much effort for the mind to engage that it's literally tiring you out.
Oh yeah, yeah, could be. Hmm.
God, look how much energy it takes to connect via mind with someone.
Yeah. Well, I feel, you know, I
You want to go to
I've
sleep right away.
I've
It knocks you out, dude. True.
uh,
Love it.
I receive energy from it. Like I'm highly stimulated by deep topics and
You mean mind stimuli? Yeah. That
hmm
mind is very arousing. Actually,
hmm
it's a point of arousal. I
the
am
pineal
also
gland.
Yeah, I'm also very aroused by living when with the mind. I'm fascinated by it. My eyes are just like, I just woke up, let's go. Oh my God,
Hmm.
how far we can go. I can't. And here's another thing. It's physiologically it's actually changes every I forget to eat. I'm not hungry. I'm so aroused by it that I can go.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Hmm. Yeah.
but yeah, my friend, welcome to my club of
Yeah.
yawners.
I feel like I could handle yawning. It's for me, it's like the aloofness and like looking away, and I'm like, I just it depends on where the context, but sometimes I'll just like walk away. I'll finish my sentence and just walk away. I'm like, okay, it's enough.
Mm.
We're done here.
Yeah. But I
Um,
love, oh, go ahead.
yeah. I was gonna
Go ahead.
say, you pointed to, you know, in the longing, there's the desire to connect with the external, the and part of the desire to connect is this connection, is the identification with it instead of um, realizing that it's, you know, it's like a reflection of energy. And you said, you kind of pointed to like the your external environment will. leave enough of a gap that you have to sit with it, and then something creative is born in you, like this, like the desire almost starts to emanate out because you have no outlet for it anymore. And um, I'm really feeling that in the past couple of weeks, like really clearly. Like, okay, like I don't think there is something external that can do it for me. And so what would be something that I would want to watch or I would want to partake in, or what would I want to see someone else do that I could play with or have that entertaining quality. And then what I'm finding is like in becoming my own muse kind of in a way, I guess you could say that, or play partner. It's like, oh, now I don't have any desire externally because it's being fulfilled already within. I imagine you feel that way with poetry. I'm curious.
But what you just pointed out is the difference between loneliness and aloneness. The
Mm-hmm.
half of you, which needs the other half outside, and whole of you, which actually fulfills itself totally,
Mm-hmm.
and in which all the longing, but the longing is not even yours. Let me give you a different perspective. Let's just think about it this way. It is something pulsating through you, and you
Mm-hmm.
got this gift of it that you don't know what to do with it, as if it wants to extend, and it's new. It is not old. The depth of a rising of something that comes almost like it can either come from within or it can come at you, but it's really not yours, meaning the new is going to discover itself. And
Mm-hmm.
our default mechanism is to stop it because we don't know what it is. But from the depth, new always comes. It's always, it's not the mind what it knows from the past. That's why it's very curious in nature. It's very adventurous. But you never
Right.
know which way it's going to take you. So you have to be so courageous. And I love that he's saying the art of life becomes then you're playing with that which you don't know, you cannot identify with. It's too divine for you to even call it yours. You're not even thinking about it. Your mind is long gone. And
Mm-hmm.
something inside births itself when the time and space stops and you just become witness of it, honored guest, while you're witnessing the entire process of creation of something new. But it's never old. And so it's always new. That's the
Mm-hmm.
key. It will not be reinventing itself, it will be anew. And that's why it's for those who dare to allow it, you are entering into uncharted territory.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a rebel. That's not
Yeah.
revolution. It's a
Mm-hmm.
rebellious.
Yeah. And I think it looks pretty childlike in its effort to play, to just be free to try things, make mistakes, make ridiculous sounds. Yeah,
Yeah, be a
move the body
fool.
in new ways. Yeah,
Mhm.
be foolish. Yeah, get a little hurt.
And then you step into protected you. So, right. So it's so vulnerable. They say the idea when who is it? Elizabeth. She goes. The idea is magic. You don't want to give magic away to
Yeah.
the public because they'll destroy it because it's new, and a new is very fearful. People are fearful of new because they're stuck in the mind. Mind is old already. It's recycled.
Mm.
But the new that it comes, its initial is going to be rejection, absolute rejection. So first they hate you, then they copy you, and then
Hmm. Yeah.
and it's so true. But that doesn't stop you. So something inside of you has to be really concrete with it. That's why you have to almost talk to it so intimately,
Hmm.
so gently, because
Hmm.
it's a bud of a rose, but it needs a thorn for it. So it needs to be protected. It needs to be seasoned enough to bloom, blossom, and give a fragrance away fully.
Hmm.
So gentle. Awesome.
Yeah. And I notice because in some sense you could say it's whatever's in your heart or as close as you can get to the depths of your heart where the magic lies. Um, but there's, yeah, how do I say it? It's like I could express from my heart in a way where if someone made fun of me for for whatever, that I would be hurt by it. Or I could express from my heart in a way where it's already play and I've already seen how like I might be wrong or this might be silly or and with that energy, that transmission, it can have someone make fun of me or mock me or be like, "Was you're being weird," and just be like, "Yeah, I know." Like I'm already, it's like, uh, I don't know if you can speak to that or if you know what I'm talking about.
It's the habit. If you really think about it, it's the habitual reaction. But what you
Hmm.
want is action. You don't want reaction. That's what where we were talking about yesterday or the other day. It's a periphery becomes so far away when you start entering into your inner
Hmm.
world. You're entering inside and periphery can touch you. But there's this wide gap in between that just widens even more. You can go
Hmm.
there, but they can't come in.
Yeah.
And when you act from it, it's very new. It's
Hmm.
rebellious, but it's unique to you. It's very private. Rebel is not going out
Right.
there and demonstrating across. It's your own saying that I am my own world. It's like I want to discover it, no matter
Hmm.
what the periphery is telling me or teaching me or telling me that I'm wrong or rejecting me. It doesn't matter, actually. It's something inside of me that speaks my language only, and I get it. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
So what you're saying is that habitual reaction to go back to the periphery, which is through the mind.
Hmm.
And that's where it's like this, you can only make that many mistakes. But you'll
Hmm.
realize eventually the reaction and then you'll stop. The
Yeah.
habit is what we come back to unconsciously until subconsciously, not even unconscious. We're entering unconscious, but subconsciously because we learned how to do that so well. And your awareness starts kicking in once you figure out the second before you actually react to stop.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And there's this piece too about identification. So it's almost like accessing a well, like this we talk about like this special place that we have that's private. Whatever comes out of the well, whatever we like are able to get from a bucket, we might share that water, but the maybe the space or how it looks or how deep it is for us. Um, and someone could say like, "Oh, this water tastes horrible," and we're like, "I don't know, like it's not my water." That's the difference between identifying like I dug the well and I found the water and I did this and then the minute someone doesn't like it, someone looks at it, and then we're like, oh, they don't like me. But
Mm.
this what the true magic what we're accessing is not really ours. It's like something that's coming through us, right? So it's in that sense, it's like there's nothing that could be said. I'm like, okay, like you're hating on s- something from spirit, whatever you want to call it, but it's essentially you're kind of attuning. So, if you're leaving a comment on a social media post and you're like hating on it, it's like, well, you're attuning. Hopefully, you don't stick around because that would be silly to stick around and just keep hating on it. You're attuning, and then you're gonna find your people, and this is gonna find its people. So yeah, it's interesting to know. I'm just, paying attention to it because right now I'm starting to share a little bit more and it's playful. And before when I would share, it was like I was identified and I notice. And still, I mean, still there's micro identifications that happen here and there too. So, um, but it just feels so freeing to approach it from this space where it's like,
Witness.
yeah, just not really mine anymore.
But no, isn't that our trouble? trouble of a man, to have a mind full of air,
Yeah. It's the first thing
in
that gets
which,
critiqued. Yeah.
yeah, in which it's nothing actually. If you really think about it, it's just the thoughts are nothing. They're not even intelligent. But to allow it to guide you. And I always think about it, it's just a tiny little point of figuring it out. It's like this little tweak in which you figure out your minding, your way of minding, and then you start using it in your favor, in your benefit, rather than
Mm.
against yourself. And then it's not even this, it is the disidentification, or you're no longer identified with it. It's not dissociation. It's very
Right.
different from dissociation. It's like you're not running away from it, but you're just becoming a witness of your mind, and then you're just letting it blab. This is why Vipassana is so, but you know,
Yeah. Hmm.
I could, that was the entrance for me. And from there, you just enter into your whole space, uncharted, which was totally different world. It's like the world you want to be in, actually, and start flipping upside down. And it's actually flipping itself upside down. The furthest the mind can go is to get its the line. The furthest line of the minding is paradox. Once you hit the
Hmm.
paradox line, it's the latest, the lastest, the furthest the mind can go to catch itself and almost like eliminate itself. That's it.
Hmm.
If you're operating out of mind. But to go beyond it is actually you have to enter into the uncharted territory and be comfortable with that unknown, and then allow, like, use the mind from it.
Hmm.
Oh gosh, I wanted to say something. So imitating versus confused. So imitating versus originality. It's like mind is recycled. It already imitates all the time and all the time. There's no originality in it. But intelligence that can come through the intellect has to come from the center. And it is not all the time something that you will know how to elaborate on it either. So the further down you go, the more space and silence you enter, in which you have nothing to say.
Hmm.
And that's the beauty. It's like you're just going to go into this deep travel, but you're still here. You're not like dissociating or running away from the world. You're actually actively here. You're just now aware of very different layers of yourself and who is playing
Hmm.
what in it. So the trolls on the internet, the deeper you go, I find, the deeper you go, the more I am anchored into something mine, the more I get the periphery trolls. They all want to convert me to Jesus. It's so interesting. And the Lord of the Jesus, they'll pray for me. That's how big their heart is in their mind. That they want to pray for me for survival, to save me. And I'm like, we don't pray for the same thing. And
Hmm.
we don't have to. But it's interesting to notice it. There's no more reaction to it because my
Yeah.
action matters more, not reaction.
Hmm. Yeah. Reaction. Reaction's not even needed because um, I was just reflecting on this. I'm having a hard time knowing how to say this to people without being trite, I guess you could say. Um, but someone was commenting about someone else's behavior and how bizarre their behavior was, and I'm like, well, I said, well, astrologically, everyone has a place and a role. Like it's all fractalized intelligence in a way. And I'm like, that sounds trite because you could just say that about anything, anytime. But it's
Mhm.
also touching on the paradox that it's true. That it's in the tantric approach too, that it's all welcome, like it's all capital T truth. It's all this manifestation that's occurring. And when I try to enter into that space in normal conversation, I think it's almost like if you're playing on the road with tricycles, like kids' bikes, and then a motorcycle flies by. It's like you see it, but you couldn't really tell the color. You couldn't really tell who was on it. It's going so fast. Like that's kind of how I would describe it. And it's like to warm up to that. and to bridge to it, to like how do you bridge to paradox out of mundane? Um, but maybe it's enough. Maybe people are getting it, and that's part of the paradox is like there's no there's no continuation thereafter. That's the inherent nature of paradoxes. It's the Ouroboros eating itself, eating its own tail. It's like so in a way it's like by saying something so deep, it's the end of the conversation. It's like I am the conversation ender and approaching it with fire instead of earth and water for a tree to
Mm.
grow. I don't know. Yeah.
I feel you, my friend.
So many metaphors.
And I want to also touch on it is mind is the easiest to manipulate. You can't manipulate your body intelligence. You can't manipulate your heart. It will fall in love without you. It doesn't matter what you say. Forget about it. It has the love quality. It's meant to love, and
Hmm.
it's only meant to love. So mind is so easy to manipulate and make you believe. All it all you need to do is just make someone fearful and make them panic and freeze the dysregulate them. So that way it's kind of the rationality of it is shut off. So when you and watch what happens just in a collective, in a crowd, in a modern times, what is taken away from us, the capacity to think, to criticize,
Hmm.
to be self-critical, to analyze, to imagine, to write, to expand, to describe. That is all taken out from us. That's why I'm saying it's like as good as it gets. Look at the push, how hard it is, because all the wanderings now, almost like the rationale is coming when we are realizing a lot of things. And fast forward to me, I'm not theorizing anything. I'm just openly discuss, arguing it. But if I am not capable to imagine and live in my own gift given by my nature, imagination means you exit what you know and you describe something totally different. You let go of what you know and you're flowing in the wonderland. That is a dreamy state that everybody is afraid of. Why? You do it every night.
Hmm.
You do it every night anyway. But your mind is seeking literally what to grab on because it doesn't know. It's not trained how to loosen up. And that's why people now read romanticises. They
Hmm.
aim for love and they want a fantasy. It's such a high, insane, and books are thick. Like you're talking
Yeah,
thick
they're
thousand
huge.
books. And they're bigger and bigger and bigger because there is a longing for it. So they're escaping this world to enter into romantic fantasy. And they need it, and they're literally there's a need for it. And but what are you seeking? The question is what inside of you wants. The heart wants to believe, the mind wants to believe that this heart is worth it, and it's worth the love that it's so out there, right? So if you take away my gift of imagination, you're taking away my capacity to transcend. It's that simple, and it's serious. That's serious. So when I enter into the conversation, I can tell and gauge right away, is the imagination even there? To
Hmm.
enter such a deep conversation, you and I, we don't imagine things, we don't dream them, but we discuss them so deep that half of the times we are not really, we have never even touched that subject. So you
Right.
need to have a capacity to explore and elaborate more than what you know, which is total imagination, and come up with something new.
Hmm.
And that is just taken away more and more. So, hence to say there will be less and less people that are imaginative. The capacity for it will just shrink down to nothing.
Yeah. 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 It's interesting. Starting to see more evidence now on just in general, I'd say in general, not just social media, but in general, that a lot of narratives are planted. Like Rick Levine just said this on
Mhm.
like a June update. He said, there's two sides to like the war in Gaza. There's the the idea that Israel needs to survive no matter what. And then there's the idea that all these civilians are being murdered and genocided. He's like, that's ignoring the fact that I think he said Sudan or Darfur, I don't remember the country, where more people die in a month than in the entire war. It's just been ongoing. It's like, oh, it's like there's a selected narrative that's chosen to be pushed out for whatever reason, you know. So it's just a reminder that whatever ideas are popularized or we're hearing, you know, or what we're seeing, it's again going back to the external and identification with it and just really allowing. It's not to say that any one take or any position is wrong or right, but rather to just have a moment of contemplation with yourself and to really sit with, is this something that's personal to me? In a way, we kind of demonize what's personal and we say like you should care more about bigger things, but you know, you have to put your oxygen mask on first. So it's like, is this personal to me? How does it affect me? Is it in my world? Is it in my world? Meaning like my local experience, like where I drive to work or where I go to hang out. Um, yeah, just been reflecting on that as well.
So that's where the doubt comes in. Doubt the periphery and internal, so you can go. I'm sorry, doubt the external, everything you see. And I don't know, I have this tendency to doubt everything that I hear,
Yeah.
read.
Hmm.
You know, I almost go as far as to say to myself, it's like, what can you teach me?
Yeah.
What is it that you can teach me? If it's new, I'll listen. If it's old, it's you're lost me already.
Hmm.
You know, it's like stimulate me. But I always doubted what I heard and saw. For some reason, I don't know where this came from. Maybe because I was alone enough in my childhood to actually you know, use my imagination to build the house of cards and the blocks and bricks and, you know, linen and all these different things. I actually did that all my childhood. So it's very, I don't like it. Like, no,
Hmm.
maybe not.
Hmm.
And you will see the efforts to fear the collective. So let's just go back to individuality, the truth,
Hmm.
which is authentic to you, and the
Hmm.
belief, which is assigned to the social crowds. That's why it's easier to manipulate the crowds
Hmm.
than it is to manipulate the individual. You almost and crowds will reject the individual for novelty. It takes
Hmm.
courage to be an individual and to stand. Not, you're not standing against the world. You're standing for yourself. But you're
Hmm.
saying, wait a minute. And the crowd will always group together as a sheep. So you're either a lion or you are a sheep. It's easier to manipulate the sheeps. It's not that easy to manipulate the lion. So it's what
I was just thinking about a ram and trying to manipulate a ram. It's just running, it's just smashing into things.
but you can see it, and this is where your rebel comes in to question the crowd and doubt the crowd, and actually, in order to find your own truth, your own discovery. It's like you own your journey fully. You start owning it, and the deeper inside you go, you discover how much of power you actually have. And of course, they'll crucify you. So this is where all it
Hmm.
makes sense. It's like you got crucified because you're thinking ahead of the time, and the crowd is never ready for no new. In
Hmm.
fact, they will stick together so much so that they will, for the safety. But this is what is unsafe most
Yeah.
of the time.
Hmm.
But what I want to come back to, it's like our imagination. You watch the art, you listen to new music of the new generations. These are children that are coming in, your kids upcoming. Listen to the music, how much noise is created. It has no frequency whatsoever. It's just total chaos and confusion in the head. It actually hurts the head, hurts the body. It's like just screaming. The expressions are dark. The tattoos, the art of the body, because it's becoming, you know, very darkened. And it is just the mimic. It's the imitation of the fear ahead of it. that you
Mm.
can't face, you have to rather run away from. Imagination is so important. That's why literature might even blossom even now more for from these people that are actually in the inner world speaking different language, because there's this longing. So you lean into the longing of what are you longing for? And is it clear inside of you that you want something that it's much deeper than what is the noise that is created in the world at the moment?
Mm.
So,
Um, on that note, do you feel like fantasy romance, it, it seems like romance tends to be more women readers, and then maybe like sci-fi, fantasy, whatever for males. But kind of the same idea for either side. But do you feel that it is moving someone closer to the world of imagination, or is it actually like capturing and making it smaller?
okay, well, let me tell you. I attended a boot camp for one of the publishing houses 4 days. And last 2 days, they were talking about AI, incorporating AI into writing. About half of the backlash in the group, public group of 1,500 people, public group all over the world, 15, half of them, almost like half of them were saying, it's like, this is, it's humiliating. That the only way to actually publish your work of art is to use the AI as the assistant, but you'll never know, actually. It's becoming
Yeah.
so well that you can become, it's almost like, spirituality. It's like eventually it's going to fall itself. The cards will fall, right? So you will understand that to rush towards something so fast is almost bound to fail really, real quick. The same way, like these, now we don't believe in spirituality at all. Osho says, what is the bullshit spirituality? And he goes, all spirituality is bullshit. All of it is bullshit, bullshit. But it's true. So publishers are in the race as well because they need to make money because everybody else is using it. Same way like everybody is in race for nukes now. So you're watching and I'm like, my every single thing that I write is not fitting any of your requirements. You're asking me to utilize something that I cannot, don't want to.
Hmm.
Because it kills the innocence in it. The spontaneity is not there anymore. If I cannot have a free time and flow to write what I want, rather than it has to fit the time frame and the
Yeah.
frame for it. So there's a clear split into, and they're pushing for fantasy, romance and fantasy together
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
it makes so much money. But watch, you're gonna publish it. They just gonna put it on the bookshelf, and then you have to market it. So in the end of the
Yeah.
day, it's they on you to go and market your own way. So they're really not doing anything anymore, rather than taking money away from you, your time, your talent, your inspiration, your spontaneity. They're killing it, if you ask me.
Hmm.
But aside of that, what is available for you to become an author? People are seeking love to me. And because they cannot feel it in this body, in this 3D, they enter into the land of fantasy.
Yeah.
It's more possible there than it is here. And that to me, there you are. Where'd you go? You yawned.
Sorry, it's
But
stretched in.
I know. But that to me is the longing for love. The heart wants to love. The love wants to come and touch. And it's becoming less and less possible because they don't understand what love is. How can someone who never experienced deep heartbreak actually know what love is? Unless your heart is broken in pieces, you're not going to know what the love is. That's not
Hmm.
love, it's fear, right? It's a contract, it's a law over love.
Hmm.
So there's a longing.
Yeah.
But how it's presented to the world, it's just a mass confusion.
Hmm. Yeah. On that note, I've been touching sci-fi series every once in a while, or like I'll spend some time on it. But I was really into this one, listening on audiobook and kind of working my way through it over time. And then I had a very socially filled weekend, like really good dance, met with a lot of people, great food, great fun. And I remember it was like 3 or 4 days off of listening to this book, and I remember coming back to the book and being like, "Oh, I have to accept now this narrative that there's, of course, it's all fantasy, but we find ourselves identifying with everything, and that's part of like when you lose yourself in a book, like you're becoming identified with the characters or what's happening." And I remember thinking, "Oh, I don't know if I can get behind this idea that there is there is bad, and then the good guys are the main characters. Like that's kind of the story for most fiction books." And I'm like, I desire something more complex, or just at least like a neutrality across the board. Like you could have your motivations as characters, but this series in particular is a little bit more accessible for your younger crowd, in which it's like white versus black, good versus evil, this sort of thing. And I'm like, oh, it's hard for me to go back into it. I enjoy the writing so much, the storytelling, and the characters enough that I'm able to go back into it. But just the general, like, there's a struggle against this force. Like, oh, I'm having a hard time swallowing it. Interestingly enough, in this second book, he starts to kind of like deconstruct the idea that they are the bad guys and the characters like wrestling with it. And I'm like at the same time doing that on my own. So I'm appreciating that as well. But uh, just to just to reflect too, like maybe for romance and fantasy, like you say, like the heartbreak and putting yourself out there, like really giving of yourself. And um, what Carly and I see and hear a lot is people don't, especially women, they don't even know how to reconnect with that part of themselves that they felt wasn't safe at some point. Like at some point, you were criticized, belittled, judged, or told you weren't pretty enough, or you weren't good enough, or you didn't work hard enough, and you just shut it down, and then it's repressed, and then you find some release or some outlet in a safe place in a book where it's just you and where it's just you in the book, and you can just do that. You don't have to share it. You don't have to be with someone and experience that pain again.
Yes. This is why uh, in women to women relationships, I'll just add to that, it feels safer because you automatically feel understood on many levels, and you also see there's invisible permission. If you can, then I
Yeah.
can too. That's why not only woman to woman, but in general, when you enter into your own world and you are seeking your own truth, you are a rebel on your own. That is
Hmm.
enough to be standing out of the crowd. That's the bravery, actually, that people get courageous to. You just need an example, right? So,
Yeah.
and you're not going to follow that example. It's like you almost, all the mystics, all the guru, he's saying, all the masters literally pushed away the followers. All the true
Yeah.
masters pushed away the followers. Do not follow me because I will misguide you. You will get attached to me, and that you which you get attached depend on, you will resent, end up
Hmm.
going from one to another extreme. So when you really find that, you are good enough example, sample seed in which you just spread yourself that way. It's that's why one line of the poetry can change your life because it touches your core. That's all it is needed to start your awakening process. And what is it really? Alertness or realization, who you are. It's as if you're recalling the long lost memory.
Yeah.
And you come back to women, right? So we identify with that trauma so much because it's becoming so trendy. But it's not, right? So if it's the past, then you're stuck here in the mind. Where is the novel? A novel is actually occurring spontaneously with life itself. So
Hmm.
eventually there must be a let go. And you cannot just have an idea of a new house and build it while the old is still standing. You have to eliminate. So it's easier said than done. I get it. But I think this journey cannot be forced. That's the other side. It's like you have to eventually start questioning. So the easiest part is you either go and meditate or you start questioning everything. Understand your mind and what does it do to you. Educate yourself.
Which, you know, sounds a lot like meditation in that sense too. You're just opening up space to be a witness. And I think it's a very brave thing nowadays to want to do that and to have any desire to either meditate or even question and ask yourself if what you believe and what you've been following and what you've accepted as normal for you in your life is true, and like what is true, and like just continue that process because um as Richard said in this one, we feel the background unease throughout our physical, mental, emotional bodies, and we carry the weight of the pain that's in the collective. And in this time of waking up to the bullshit that we've been fed a narrative, doesn't matter which side it is, or that we've, in a sense, been controlled, or some of our intelligence has been capped, or, we're being blasted with frequencies, whatever it is. Just the idea that we're not free in that sense is deeply, deeply painful. And then to be able to not only accept it, but then also choose freedom in spite of it as much as you can, to choose a life of creativity in spite of it, to choose the hardships that come with, no, I won't work a 9 to 5 because it doesn't align with me. No, I won't, live in that place where it's normal to live there, even though my heart wants to live somewhere else. I mean, you can just go on and on and on. But the process is deconstructing, and part of that is like the pieces that we put on for our mask, or for I used the analogy of Russian doll earlier. It's like that outer one feels so safe because there's 10 layers in between it. And the process of taking those layers off it feels like you're exposing yourself. It feels very painful. Um, but the alternative is to live a life of a lie, and a life where you don't get to connect with the truth that's in your heart. And I think we all get there one way or another, whether it's this lifetime or many, but yeah.
Yeah. And to close it with, if you're gonna teach anything, teach individuality.
Hmm.
It's once you feel the freedom inside, once you feel you have a sense of freedom, you'll never take it away from someone, ever. Those are the values. You're talking about values and virtues that are not personalized at all. Love, beauty, aesthetics, life, imagination, or like a potentiality. Those are virtues and values that we need to aspire towards. Freedom, one of them. So to get to all these, you have to be individual. You have to be your whole individual, and you have to learn how to get to that trust that it's authentic to you, and your trust is not the same like mine. But look, just recently we realized your pain is not the same like mine, right? So there is something is happening, and this is why it's like I think it's silent evolution, revolving, already revolutionizing itself, and we're not even. We're just becoming either aware of it more. We're becoming slowly alerted on it. So I trust that more than I trust what I'm told. Oh,
Yeah.
very much. There's innate trust in the humanness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well said.
Wow. Enlightened pleasure.
64. Crazy.
Ah, one down.
What? You're like, Eric, you see behind me? We have to work all through this.
They're just getting bigger and thicker, so but they're deeper. And yeah, I don't I only have one section to donate, which is all self-help books
Hmm.
for the mind.
Yes, teaching for the individual, but not self-help.
Oh no. Oh yeah. Oh, no, not at all. Don't follow. Just wonder. And that coming comes down to that the comfort, you know, you have to figure out how to be comfortable with unknown. And yeah, there are many ways, many paths.
Mm, lovely.
All right.
Thank you,
Well, well,
friend.
well. Thank you.
New series next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yoo-hoo.
Woohoo. Okay. Bye. Ciao.
Bye.